In this tutorial, I will show you how to add shading to a terrain. So you can see here I'm using a terrain which already has contour lines. This was shown in tutorial 5. So if you look here in the terrain tool palette, you will see there is a source called survey. There's a terrain called terrain 1. And there are two outputs. There's a wireframe which is turned off, and there is the contour output. So to add shading, you click the Add New Output. You select Shading, select OK, and then you will have the shading dialog box come up. Now I'll just move this to one side here so we can look at some of these features here. So we use the default name is fine. The description we can add. Okay, now we see here in the sun position, this is the direction of the sun, so this is north, south, east, or west, and the elevation of the sun. Now the default parameters for this are set to be sort of afternoon sun for the US, something like that. You can adjust those to say where you'd like the sun to come from. The lighting settings, if you have a terrain which has very small gradients in it, you might want to amplify it more so that it looks like there's more. Otherwise, you won't be able to distinguish much of a difference. So the default I have is slightly amplified already, is 1.4. I find that to be pretty good for most situations. And then if you look down here, we have the shading settings. Now there's two different types. There's stipple shading and there is color shading. So I'll start first with the color shading, and you can see with that. So basically you have the lightest color and the darkest color, and then you can have the type of object that it's created. Now a face object is a 3D object, and that's only seen in 3D display mode, and a solid hatch is a 2D object. So since I'm in 2D mode at the moment, I'll just switch over to solid hatch, and I'll just apply that so you can see what that looks like. There we go there. Now so you can see the shading in 2D. It looks like it's kind of a 3D effect. You can see the sun is coming from the sort of the southwest. Now if we were to adjust the sun, let's say we move it to the east, let's say. We can just apply that. Now you can see the sun has moved around to the other side. Or we can make it from the west. Apply that. Now it's coming from more directly over here. We can also look at stipple shading. It's more intense in terms of calculation because there's more things to compute. And in general, if you're in a modify mode or you're still working on the contouring, it's good to switch off the stipple shading during that process because it can slow things up. These are the lightest color. This is a hatch value, and this is the darkest. For this one, I find about a 1.5. It all depends on the size of the terrain, what scale you're working in, and so on. But for something like this scale, it's probably 1.5 is pretty good. If you just say apply that, you can see that's doing some more calculations there. And here we can see now there's the shading with stipple. And that can be very useful for black and white presentations. Okay, so I think that gives you a general outline of the shading possibilities. Say OK to that. Okay, thank you.